outperform competitors. Specifically, outperform your competitors with applied search engine optimization, or search everywhere optimization, which is SEO, marketing tactics. Welcome to the room today, and thank you for being part of today's conversation where we're going to dive deeper into insights that you can learn about, where you can think about your competitors and ask yourself, okay, I have a business. I know who my competitors are, or I may not know who my competitors are. How can I find my competitors? That's always a big question. People use websites like SimilarWeb, SocialBlade, SparkToro. These are websites that can tell you off the bat without even having to Google them because I know about them. But there are other tools that you may not be aware of that could give you way more insights for way less money that you could pay for that will give you more time back. And I want to just focus on the major key factors to look into so you don't miss out on these amazing steps. So welcome, Ayanshu. Welcome, Bridget. Thank you for being here, Liverpool's finest. It's been a while. Welcome back. It's good to see you here as well. And everyone as well that's going to be here, thank you for spending time today. If you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat and I'll be happy to connect with you today because we can even have a conversation if you want to come up and talk about it. So, outperform competitors. How do we do this? The first step, so we can just dive right into this discussion, because I'm not going to be doing this for a long time today. We're not going to hit an hour, that's for sure. So I will make sure we cover this as much as we can now. For you to outperform or outrank or out anything your competitors, your goal is to understand who they are, first of all. When you know who your friend is, you know what your friend can do. You know what your friend can't do. So same thing goes to your competitors. You know who your competitor is, okay, amazing. You don't know who they are, then that's where you need to find out where they are. And they could be national, it could be international, it could be local, it could be regional. So when you have a great response, Liverpool says, my brother, it's so good to have you here. It's been a while. So good to see you here too. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you. When you have a focus point to connect with people who are within your market audience or your market target audience, your goal is to know two things. Of course, there are many other things to understand and know, but here are the two things to start with when you want to know who they are. You want to think about your direct competitors and you want to think about your indirect competitors. So there are two types. When you have direct competitors, these are people, competitors, businesses, corporations, systems that directly do the same thing you do within your niche or within the niche of your business market. It may not be directly connected, but it's definitely attached in one way or the other. It could be a similar name, it could be a similar business type, it could be a similar business model, it could be a similar business product or service or price. It could be something along those lines. But majorly, you're looking at that direct as where your market share is going to come from. So if there are 3 companies and each of them have, let's say 25% each market share, and then you have 25%, okay, that's 100%. But let's say you want to add 1 or 2% to your market share. How are you going to take that 1 or 2%? Because it's not coming out of 1 or 2 markets, it's coming from a couple of markets, a bunch of markets, a combination of markets. So when you have your direct competitors, your goal is to know how do you apply SEO marketing-wise as a tactic to now address those things. Welcome, Darani. So you have applied SEO where you're building capacity by knowing who your direct competitors are. Welcome, Jason. And then when you know who they are, you're able to now reference back to those same competitors within your listing. I'll give you an example. Okay, so for instance, let's look at this scenario. This is very random. Here we go. You have flowers. You sell flowers, right? It's Valentine's week. Happy Valentine's week. You sell flowers, right? A special type of flowers, maybe red roses. And once you want to know who your competitors are, you'll know, okay, I have competitors. The supermarket is my direct competitor, right? Because they sell flowers. The farmer's market could be a direct competitor. I'm just giving you open examples here. So please try, if it's your business, just fill in the blank or replace what you can hear. You have the farmer's market, you have the grocery market. So you already have two markets already within your direct competitor feed. You also have florists. You can say plaza or small business or corner. You can have that there. And then you have street, right? So people on the street who could be selling, they could be selling it on one street and maybe it's going to lead you a few couple blocks down and you get to the store. So you're getting different ways of selling the same product, right? So how do you, the person who has the same product that they do, outrank them, outperform them? What I would do if I were you, and I'll tell you what I would do. So if you don't do this, then that's something you would do differently, which is totally fine. But when I think about competition, I don't think about competition in a negative way. I think about it in a positive way, in a healthy way, in a collaborative way, in a merging way, and in an affinity way. Why am I saying this? Because if we both like to read the same book at a library, but maybe you like to read the book in the car driving more than you like to do in the library, and mine is vice versa, that's not going to change the value of the book. It's just going to exchange in time the value that you give, particularly in those scenarios that you're in, right? So if let's say, okay, it's Tuesday, it's Wednesday, and now we want to be in the same library and read this book, it's because everybody knows at 12 o'clock on Wednesday, we have a library session and we all meet and have a good discussion. Same thing with the flower. If I know that between 12 and 3 p.m., I know that everybody is doing a rush hour because they either have to pick something up or get lunch or wherever you are. I'm just giving you as random examples. You think about it and say, okay, this is an idea I'm giving to you right now for free that I thought about, that I feel like if you try this out, please tell me how this worked. And you can make it a timely way, right? So let's say you sell a bouquet of flowers for $20 to $50, right? I don't know what the price would be. I'm just giving you a random price. Let's even break it down even further, 10 to 50. Let's just give you a wide range. Your flowers are within a $10 to $50 range, right? So that's $2 signs. Now, if somebody's going to be looking for that, right, they're going to be looking at $19.99, $49.99. They're going to be looking at those things, right? So when you look at it e-commerce wise, the first number is what people register. So if it's $89.99 and something else is $79.99, they're going to register the 7 more and cherish the 7 more than they'll cherish the other number. Why? Because that other number is lower. Not because it's less in value, but it has a more fitted budget, or it fits better with their preference. If it's higher and they can afford it and that's what they want and that's the price they're comfortable with, then why not? Right? So it's not a matter of what the price is or who's better. It's what the price already is in the market that people already know. Okay, if I know that I buy eggs for X amount, then I shouldn't be buying eggs for X amount, right? Because I know exactly the value of eggs. So it's the same thing. When you now put this into marketing and you say, okay, I have a business and I sell flowers. Now, if I was to put 2 different price matches, right? I'll put a price tag between 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock, and I'll put another price match between 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock. And let's say I close 10 p.m. because I know you might want to surprise your boo or your spouse or your significant other at 12 a.m., and you might not have a chance to get flowers because you had work and you were exhausted. So you know that there's a place you can get flowers or order it online, at 9:30 p.m. before they close at 10. The same way you do with food, right? That in itself has already built awareness. So now the problem has been solved. I need flowers. Now I can get flowers because it's at a time that is convenient to me. Everybody else closes at 6 p.m. I'm still open at 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Why? Because that's how I run my business. Some people may be open till 9 till 10. It depends on where you are. You could be open in store and open online and then close in store and then keep it going online if you want to get deliveries. I don't know what your business is, but I'm giving you random examples. Now, imagine if you do this to outperform competitors, because we're talking about SEO and marketing tactics, right? Just imagine if you had those 2 hour blocks I mentioned, 12 to 3, 6 to 9, and in those hours, you have a special price, you have a sale price, and you let people know, and this is where SEO comes in. You either talk about it on a blog, you write the article, you publish it as an actual documentation, because a web page is a documentation. When you go online, yes, you may have a website that has been living since the Flintstones, but if you don't have recent active domain authority and connectivity to active search engines real-time notifications, then it's considered dormant. So when you now have a web page that is addressing a specific need, and we know that this is the month of February, and you're going to be looking for specific flowers or roses or bouquets, and you want to maybe add that with chocolate, and maybe that's what you do too, or with cards. Now, imagine you have an article and you know that, okay, I sell flowers, but I know that this grocery store sells flowers and they also sell cards. So what will I do? How will I outrank someone that has one up more than me, right? So you're already thinking in the defense already. You're not even thinking offense anymore, it's defense, because you're already at -0. You're actually, let me say this, so you're at -1, before 0, before +1. So by the time you're looking at where you are, you might end up at a -2 or -3 if you don't see that you could be at a +3 if you added, let's say, 3 blogs talking about the best 3 ways that you can find your best flower match for Valentine's. Now, what happens is, because there's a grocery store that someone is not just going to leave their house and buy flowers, right? They're going to do a few errands. You're going to know they're going to probably spend 30 minutes to an hour, or maybe 2 hours driving, stopping over, purchasing, like give or take 2 hours, right? To and fro, return. So if you're looking at that person's day and you have a 3-hour block of an active service, right? Because we have 24 hours in a day, right? Welcome, Cameron. We have 24 hours in a day. So if we have 24 hours in a day, divided by 4 is 6. So you're giving 3 hours out of the 6 hours to give a specific thing. So now if you say, okay, between 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock, we normally sell our flowers at $19.99, but between these hours of the day, we're going to sell it at 20% off. Now, someone sees that and they're like, I'd rather drive 30 minutes to get this 20% off than drive 5 hours later to get it at full price. So people are already thinking about their time, their money, their energy, what they have to actually do to get there. So I'm giving you these examples on a whim because I feel like whenever I open rooms, I'm doing this to help. And if it's something that catches your attention and we talk about it and we do it, great. Because the whole idea for me is to share ideas with you, because not every idea is going to work. We might try it today, it might not work today, but it might work next year. It might work 5 years from now. So I love to just give this so that you can use this and go back and say, okay, maybe let's try this if we need to. So that time blocking is important. Why? Because SEO wise, people are searching based on topics, based on interests, based on keywords, based on phrases. So if they're going to look for a Valentine's couple treat, or they're going to look for Valentine's restaurant near me, or look for, dinner restaurants for Valentine's, those are very key words that people are using in this week. By this time last week on Wednesday, nobody was searching for it, but people were. It wasn't as intense or as surged as it is now. So keywords are they're not like stuck in the mud, right? Today, it could be 2,000 searches. Tomorrow, it could be 20 million searches. So the keyword has no end. It's like infinity and beyond. It just depends on how much traffic you're sending to that specific title or that phrase. So one way you can think about this, right, as a business is to focus on creating consistent flow of outperforming your competitors by looking first at your content. right? Look around you and say, okay, who around me, welcome Sack, who around me as a business is doing what I do or semantically connects to what I do? Because they probably did something before they got here, and they're probably going to do something after they leave here. So those points in between is where your competition, I can say your competition flows. They're either going to a gas station, or they're going to a grocery store, welcome Deolu, or they're going back home, or they're hitting the highway, or they're going to maybe stop at the next plaza, or they're going to pick up something for the whoever. It could be anything. I'm just giving you guys examples that are very open-ended. So when you think about all the types of things people are doing before they see you and after they see you, now the question is, what are they doing that you could still be part of before and after they still connect with you in that time block that they have with you? So that's where outperforming comes in, because now I can say, here are the best restaurants you can eat this. Let's say you love sushi, or you love steak, or you love seafood, and you have the specific words there, and that's what you want to get, that's what you want to eat, that's what you want to have, that's what you want to enjoy with your friends, with your family, with your loved ones. Now, when you do that, they'll appreciate the gift. That's really nice. It's a really cute one. So when you now look at it from a long-term value perspective, you're now building capacity to let the person know that, hey, I'm going to be looking for this thing at a certain time. So if I'm going to find this at a certain time, let me find it early. And when I find this early, I want to save it. When somebody sees your post for the first time on social media, one of the major credentials and the major signals of today's time, and you can quote me anywhere, one of the most important metrics for social media is the save button. Every social media platform has that now. Almost everyone. Threads, LinkedIn, TikTok has always had it. Pinterest has always had it. Instagram has it. Facebook has it. Save post. Because when you save a post, it is telling the algorithm, and think about it really, when you save something, where is it really saving to? It's not saving in the cloud, like it's just floating. It's saving within a server. So if the server is responding and saying, hey, there are 5 people that saved this thing, 50 people saved this thing, 5,000 people saved this thing, what do you think that means for the algorithm, for the server? It means that 50,000 people are going to come back to this post. That's why it's one of the highest metrics. So if you tell somebody, hey, save this post for later, like right now we're on Clubhouse, so save this replay, right? Click the 3 dots at the top right and click save replay, because people are busy. People are on the go. No one's going to be here for an hour. People have things to do. You're busy. So you may have 10 minutes of your day to sit back. You might have 30 minutes break. You might have 2 hours after this. We don't know. I don't know what you guys are doing. I have no clue, and I have no control. But what I can do is to add value to your time, so that when you now use your time wisely for something you need it for, you can apply this information and then try it out for yourself, because you have applied information you can contribute based on the time you spent to acquire it. So if you're going to outperform, and thank you for the thumbs up, Nix, when you have a competition that is really stiff and you wonder, okay, what is this competition doing? Are they running ads, or are they doing influencer marketing? Are they SEO heavy? Are they AI heavy? Are people finding them on ChatGPT and platforms very easily? Are they on podcasts? Do they have third parties like Amazon, like Etsy? Where are they hanging out, right? Do they have a website? Do they have a community they send emails to? Those are the questions to be asking when it comes to competition. Because sometimes we think, oh yeah, how many followers do you have? How many? That does not matter. Because if that Instagram account is gone, you can't really say anything after that, right? So your goal is to build competition in a way that can actually outperform your marketing by focusing on one thing that's very important. And I haven't talked about it yet, which I'm about to. This is the one thing that if you do SEO-wise, you will outperform your competitors. And here we go. It's email marketing. email marketing is going to outperform your competitors. Why? Because when you have an email marketing platform, your email marketing platform, welcome Elena and Jolanta, your email marketing platform is going to be a place that people are going to learn more about you. Welcome, Bo. Because if I send you an email on a Monday and you open that email on Friday, I've still had a direct connection with you. Compared to if I posted something on Instagram on Monday and then I came back on a Friday and I saw it, it won't really have that much effect to me as it would if I got an email from you on that same Friday. I had time to open it, either open a post or open an email. Now, when you outperform your competitors, this is now when you start looking at paid versus organic. Because I would say your competitors, you will know, okay, my competitors run ads at this time of the year. They do this, they do that. I may not know that. You may know that better than I do, right? But I'll be able to use what you have and say, okay, based on this information, based on this knowledge, hello, Bo, see you in the chat. Out of this information, how can I take this from 2 levels of competition? Now, I've talked about how you have those things, right? Now, when it comes to visitors, you have 2 types of visitors. You have new visitors and you have returning visitors. So you know how you go to a browser and you like this tab so much that you can't close it? You're going to leave that tab open, right? But let's say if you close that tab, before you close that tab so that you don't lose that tab in its full capacity, you're going to save it, bookmark it, right? So the same way you're saving an Instagram post or saving a TikTok post or saving a LinkedIn post is the same way you're saving a bookmark on a website or a web page that you're on. You add it to your favorites or add it to your folders. That's because you're curating content based on your personalized experience, needs and wants, solutions solved from problems caused. What's the effect? How are you able to draw that back and reflect and say, okay, if this is what has caused this, and how do I minimize this and maximize that? So your email marketing is going to be top notch, because when you have a website, that's SEO. When you have an email, that's SEO. Why? Because if you send an email to anyone, that email you're sending to someone is going to have a response code. You may not see it, but technically something is going on in the back end. There's something called DKIM. DKIM, Domain Keys Identifier Mail. So the identifier is Google Mail, Yahoo Mail, Outlook Mail, Apple Mail. The list goes on and on. So these are the email respondents, whether it's at gmail.com or at domain.com, it's coming from a source. So if you're going to be using your domain, which is your website.com, to talk to another domain, which is at gmail.com or at yahoo.com or another domain.com, how do you outperform competitors is by how consistently you connect with those @.coms. Because when you send emails to them and your emails are responding back to you, telling you that people are opening your emails, they're clicking on your emails, and where they're clicking to is either your social media accounts, which most people do, and then the second thing that most people don't do is send them to your website and not your homepage. I'm talking about your FAQ page, your policy page, your service page, your collection page, pages that people can actually go there on, your gallery page. If you just send them to your homepage, it's like, okay, you leave me at the door. Where do I go? Do I walk left, right? Do I take off my shoes? What do I do? So you want to build an experience for them and say, hey, welcome. And now how can I help you? I need this. Okay, go to aisle this and get that. So by the time you're done, you've saved 10 minutes of your time, because you'd have been spending that time going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before you figure out which aisle you're supposed to be at. Or you might be walking through them all trying to figure it out when somebody could have told you that in less than 5 seconds. So when you think about direct response marketing and SEO, I'm not here to say do this keywords or do this number of posts. Those things are 100% your decisions, your control. what you can put out there is a quality that you're going to give to people. Mohsen says, thanks for sharing knowledge. You're welcome. And if you want to hear more things like this, please click the link above. And this link will take you to where you can get access like this. I send out emails monthly, and I connect with over 8,000 people in our email list. And my LinkedIn is closing on 18,000 people now. And I'm sure by spring it's going to be about 20,000 people. So I'm connecting with people, not just email wise, not just text wise, but also audio wise. That's why I love Clubhouse, because I love to share information like this and talk about it once and then refer you back to it many times if you ever need to go back and re-listen. Because there's some things that when you say and it's understood, what's explained doesn't have to be understood. If it's already explained, if it's already understood, if there's a proof of concept, if there's already a knowledge graph, understanding the concept and you can apply it and teach it to somebody else, that's about 90% of acquisition that you've gained, compared to listening to something for the first time, and that's 5% of the acquisition that you're gaining. So for you to outperform your competitors in 2026, the key word here is collaboration. And what better way is it for you to merge? When you see two companies come together, they're coming together for a bigger cause. When you see two artists coming together, you're seeing for a bigger cause. We just had the Super Bowl. Those are two big teams coming together for a bigger cause. So when you think about it, it's not really unhealthy. It's very healthy, but the way people look at it is like, I don't want to talk about this company because they're going to go to them instead of me. Well, that's not your decision to make. It's their decision to make. So if more people come to you than them and you refer them to them and they came back to you, then that says something about you and says something about them. So when you now look at the long-term effect of that, you're building collaboration within a market that says, hey, okay, you sell flowers? All right, here are the top 10 best florist companies or florist spots you can find within your area to buy, your Valentine flower, or to buy the best flower packages for 2026. Now you've listed, let's say 5 locations on your article. And the article is your domain.com/valentines-day-flower-shops. You see how simple that is? Someone's going to say, hey, what are the best flower shops to shop for on Valentine's Day? Because you have something like that in your domain, because it's a key. If you don't have a key, you can't open that car. You can't open that door. You can't open that. You can't move. You need to get the key, whether it's a password or a pass key or a passphrase or a pass code. Something has to pass through it to be approved or denied. So when you want to drive traffic to a destination through your links, through your email marketing, the goal is to create source links that are connected to Google. That's why it's very important to connect your website to Google Search Console. You can be writing articles for donkey years, but if that website is not attractive to the site, it's not going anywhere. I had a call with someone today, earlier this morning. We worked together 2 years ago, and I looked at her website today. I was like, whoa, she's gained over 300,000 in searches. 300 plus thousand. When we set it up, it was like 30 impressions. Now it's 300,000 impressions. It's just going up. And this is 2 years ago. We're talking 2024. And now she has a whole new business and we're about to launch that one again. So if we know that, okay, we're 2026, come 2028, we should be doing more numbers than we did now because we understood the formula. So that's why we say SEO is something that takes time, but you can also speed it up if you use the right channels of communication. That's why email marketing is there. Digital billboard marketing is there. Text marketing is there. These are platforms that you can use to have that direct response. Mohsen says, can we have dialogues in the end of speech? I don't know if that means to have a conversation about this or talk about it, but yes, feel free to click the link above and you can see under appointments, you can book an appointment and we can talk about anything that you need specifically for your business. When you have these specific tools and tactics, it's going to help you grow, and it's also going to give you more visibility long term. So it's very important to think about these things and ask yourself, where do we want to be as a business and where do we want to go? So Mohsen, I see you coming up. We'd love to hear from you. Welcome, Nihan. Thank you for being here. Ayanshu, thank you. What's up, Mohsen? What's going on?
Hello, Favour. How are you doing?
Good. You? How are you?
First of all, thank you for creating this environment so we can share knowledge. First of all, I want to introduce myself. I'm a software engineer. I do backend development and DevOps. But these days I'm starting my own startup. And I'm getting kind of interacted with SEO. And my question is that actually in the field and keyword we are trying to SEO, we have no competition. I mean, I am the only one who is active in this field. I mean, we have some random sites. Do you have any advice for this situation?
Great question. Now, I got a question first. I got a question to ask first before, and I'll come to you, Jason. Welcome. So, Mohsen, when you talk about this, what is the actual outcome? When I think about it, because I know ranking and positioning is a big question today, but when I'm looking at the go-to-market strategy and I'm looking at the overall branding and marketing experience for the consumer, what does that look like right now? Because that will help me to understand what the question is based on.
So you're asking about our go-to-market strategy? I didn't really understand. So we have an Instagram profile. We are active in tattoo field. But you know, every artist in my country, all of them are active in Instagram. But we have a really good Instagram page. But I try to kind of work on Google because based on my research, we have a high volume of search about tattoo. So that's I think my best go-to-market strategy is to Google, because it has a high volume search and there is no website or platform to satisfy that need.
Correct. I always say that Google is the most unsaturated platform because it is based on search filters compared to Instagram, where it's decentralized. And it could be decentralized because you could be focusing on sports, food, culture, it could be relationships, finance, it could be anything, right? So the more you feed into you, that's why it's called an Instagram feed. The same way you eat food, you are what you eat. So the more you're feeding and liking and commenting and sharing and posting and doing all the good stuff, that's what your feed is going to come back to you and say, hey, because you like this, here's more like this. If you watch Netflix or watch Amazon Prime or Apple TV, Hulu, whatever you watch, that's going to give you options. Even YouTube, it will say, because you watch this based on this show, because you watch this movie, here's some like this. So it wants to keep you in that loop. So if you use that success formula and you say, okay, somebody came in because they want to buy jackets. Now I got beanies, I got muffins, at the door. If you want to eat some, I have some more muffins if it's cold, right? And you're building those secondary things that add up to the experience of the customer. You're no longer just thinking about ranking. Because you can rank all day, but no, someone might click you and not be interested. Me ranking doesn't mean that I'm going to be purchased. Let me just put it like that. It wouldn't mean that, because anybody can rank these days. Anybody can write an article with ChatGPT. So what makes yours different from the others? So the goal now is to understand when you're outranking, outperforming, because performing is different from ranking. Ranking, you can have a first place, second place today, tomorrow you're 31st place, to next time you're 95th place. So the ranking for me is always going to go up and down. It's like stocks, it's like numbers, it's like gas prices. It's going to go up and down. Your heartbeat is going to go up, down, up, down, up, down. So you're going to think about it from a long-term perspective. Outperforming means if I can perform something in 30 seconds shorter than someone that can perform it in 90 seconds, then I've given that person 60 seconds back that they can use to tell the next person, which is going to compound my interest over time. So we're not looking at how much are we making, how many people are subscribing, how many people are liking, how many people are saving. That's great metrics. That's information you need to know. That's essential. That's going to let you know more about what you need to know. But before that even happens, how do you create the intention? And that's by saying, okay, like you said, Mohsen, you have pages that are ranking, you have information that is happening for you on Instagram. Then if people are finding you through that source within that market, then I would reverse engineer it and say, okay, if I have 10 posts on Instagram, do I have 10 corresponding articles on my website that I can send across 10 email sequences within 10 weeks out of 52 weeks in a year? So when you now break it down like that, as opposed to how many reels should I post in a day, how many shorts should I publish, those things don't matter. What matters is, can somebody find this information when they need it? And did you post it at the time that it was supposed to? So all those metrics can be very variable, but focusing on the outcome than the result is always the best approach to SEO most times. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this, Mohsen. Great question.
Thank you, but I think you imagine that I'm using Instagram as a direct way to get customers, but that's not our way. As you said, it's like a feed. So you mean it's like random people seeing my posts and media on Instagram. So mostly I use Instagram for brand awareness as a long-term journey, but I see Google search engine as a more direct way, because who anyone is searching the term is definitely looking for a service. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Now, when somebody is looking for a service, do they go to Instagram first or Google first?
It's a very broad concept to talk about, because it's not really something to investigate. Can you help me? I mean, can we investigate that?
That's why I asked the question, because when you start looking at it in those different capacities, it changes. So it's very complex, but I don't want to make this as more complex as it already is. When somebody's searching for you, there's two types of purchases, right? There's a pre-purchase and there's a post-purchase. Pre-purchase is Amazon, post-purchase is YouTube. Pre-purchase, what are the reviews of this product? Post-purchase, oh, I need to cook chicken, or I need to bake turkey, or I need to fry lasagna, or I need to use my air fryer. What do I do? How do I bake potatoes? Those are things that happen after. So you're on a platform post-purchase. You've already purchased this product. Now you want to know how to use it. Oh, I bought this car. Oh, I bought this key. Or I bought this remote. How do I use this thing? What does this button do? So that's the post-purchase intent. And that's where Instagram comes to play, because Instagram is showing you all the glitz and glam. This is what we do. This is this person from before and after results. That's what Instagram is giving you. Instant gratification. So if somebody is in the search mode pre-purchase and they're on Google looking for information, even if they're on Instagram searching, how they're going to validate what you've said or what they're looking for is going to be based on what they see outside the platform. So if I have 3 accounts and 3 accounts are saying the same thing, but 2 accounts don't have a website, 1 does. And let me just pass it to you, Mohsen. If you saw 3 accounts and you needed something and 2 of them didn't have a website and 1 did, which one would you pick?
Sorry, your sound was interrupted. Can you say your last sentence again?
Yes. So there are 3 companies, same service, but you need 1. 2 of them don't have a website. 1 has a website. Which one are you going to pick?
Since having a website, this definitely has OPEX and CAPEX. I mean, it means human resource and money. So I would definitely trust the one who has a website.
My point exactly. Thank you for that feedback. So when you have an Instagram account, it doesn't validate whether your business is going to outperform your competitor. That's what I wanted to drive from this. So when you have a website that's connected to your Instagram, that's off-page SEO already, because this is applied SEO marketing tactics. It's already applied off-page SEO, which means that off your page, off your website, off your web page, off your web domain, another domain is referencing back to you. That's why when you go to Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, they always ask you, put your website, put your links. The reason why there are links allocated for you is so that you can use these links to build relationship models over time with these off-page platforms, because you don't own Facebook, you don't own Instagram. These are two, I can call them second party platforms, because you can control your content, you can control your analytics based on what you create, but you don't own the platform. You don't have proprietary information acquisition to that extent. Instagram Inc. or Meta, because that's a platform that is outside your control if you look at it macro-wise. But if you use Instagram and now you take Instagram off .com and into your .com, which would be your website.com, and you can still show your Instagram post from your website, which you can do by embedding your post, then more people will find you on Google. And because you have something that is Instagram scripted, that means SEO wise, you're getting more people, because most times people say, hey, I want to run ads. My question is, if you're not running ads, will they find your business still? If the answer is no, then you don't want to run ads first. If the answer is yes, then you will actually spend less money because they're already aware of your brand. Now you just have to understand the audience targeting that you're creating for them. So to your question, Mohsen, when you're looking at branding, whether it's Instagram or Threads or TikTok, any platform out there social media wise, your website is going to be your anchor. And how you're going to best get the best result out of it is not just sending people to your homepage, but building links within your page that are being indexed on Google and other search engines. Just recently, I'm not sure if you're aware of this, Microsoft Bing, this happened yesterday. Microsoft Bing just introduced AI citations within their master tools, kind of like the search console. So if Bing is doing it first, guess what? Google Search Console very soon will start having that. I can see that happening. So these are things to be aware of so that you're not caught off guard when you could have set it up, time and time ahead of time, which you can use for data over time. So that's how you can be able to look at the two and you can't measure Google and Instagram. Those are two different beasts. Google is a search engine. Instagram is a social media platform. So you're dealing with API versus LLM versus robots versus bots. So it definitely changes everything completely. So wanting to just make sure that is clear and you can see the difference, because most people can say, oh yeah, I'll run ads and make money, great. But 52 weeks from now, you're going to spend the same amount of money, but you could have spent less next year because you set it up this year. So it's just a better way of having a much better acquisition long term. So Mohsen, thank you for joining the marketing club, and thank you for being here and asking this question. We'd love to hear from you on your thoughts before we go to Jason. We have about 9 minutes.
Can you tell me about reportage? I mean, like asking other platforms to give links to my website?
I didn't talk about asking websites to give it to your website. That's a different topic on backlinks.
I mean, you as a SEO expert, do you agree with that? Just my last question.
I want to understand the question. I thought you were saying it as a statement. What's the question?
You as a SEO expert, do you see value to buy links from valid websites to get a better rank in Google search?
I got the question. So you're asking about backlinks and purchasing links to leverage your domain authority so that you can have higher visibility and more credibility for search engines to recommend you more. Yes, that's a good question. So to that extent, I don't like to say buy links. I'd rather earn than buy, because when you earn, you keep them more and the value is at a higher cost than buying it at a cost at price value. So when you buy links, great, but those links are not guaranteed. And we don't do this for clients. We don't buy links, we earn links. If you earn a TV link, or if you earn a magazine or newspaper, or someone emails you or podcast, Those are very natural because there's what we call toxic backlinks and non-toxic backlinks. So if you buy backlinks and they're working for you, great. But if something happens and Google changes their algorithm or something changes in the system and it affects you, you've lost money. So I don't even want you to spend that in the first place, because you could save that for later and focus on earning credibility by building links on your website that people can find. And one thing you can do is, let's say you have a tool. Now you can talk about tools on your website. Now, when you have tools and you have topics, you have templates, you have tutorials, people can now find those content pieces and then link them back to you. And then when you build those backlinks, over time it builds, because you're looking at a 15 to 24 month period for these backlinks to mature. If they mature early, it's different. Think about it like when you plant a seed in the ground and it matures before it's supposed to actually germinate. You're not going to have a lasting tree because it didn't build the roots within to go through the wind, the storm, the sun, right? Everything. So when you look at the foundation setup, I always say this: before you buy ads, before you buy links, before you buy media, before you buy anything that's online, start off with the time you have, because our time is so valuable, and with that time we can't get it back. So if we can build connections online and then use that for more, I would say more extensions, yes. But buying a website or buying links is not the best way to go, especially if you're buying them to I would say do it like, how do I say this? I can call that gray hat SEO or even black hat SEO instead of white hat SEO, because you can buy all these things, you can buy property, buy monopoly, but when something happens, it's going to be hard for you to track back. And all these links are also not guaranteed, because yeah, you might have a domain authority of 90, but something happens. The other day, I think it was HubSpot, that they lost a lot of traffic. HubSpot is a big company, a highly reputable company, but they lost some traffic. So that's why I always say, don't look for the shiny things. Build your house so that your property value increases, and then from there you can always trade and have a higher equity because you have more value to give. Does that help, Mohsen? Great question.
Yes, Favour. Thank you for your intel. I'm very respect to you. Thank you. Can you please move me to audience so others can talk too?
So much. Appreciate you for being here today. Thank you. That was a great question. Hey, Jason, what's up?
Hey, I want to say I agree with you about the competition not being against you, like collaboration, and that strategy is very good. In terms of like having directories and everything, I've done a similar thing, and I have a question related to it. So I have ranked the top companies in like over 10 sectors for their future readiness on my Dream Decade Challenge site. And what I found is like most people that are looking for things, they have a more immediate need, like, if it's food or flowers or something. So the reason why I don't really see SEO playing a big role, and maybe you can tell me if I'm wrong, is that like say for instance for the Dream Decade Challenge, nobody's looking for how do I plan my 10 years dream, like how do I plan my dream for the decade, you know what I'm saying? Like I have some things that are too big for people to be looking for. For instance, like my platform is like Canadian based family friendly, like Netflix, because like I'm looking for producers and things like that. Nobody's looking for a Netflix, you know what I'm saying? Like nobody's looking for a family friendly channel, right? Like it's not something people look for. It's like nobody was looking for Airbnb before there was an Airbnb. So I don't really see SEO, like I do fill it in, like my tag is like Freedom 45, but nobody's looking for how to retire at 45, you know what I'm saying? Like, so there's some things I think that SEO lends itself to being very important because it's things people would be looking for. But like, for instance, I'm a minister, right? Nobody's looking for, eternal life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some things where it doesn't really, people don't really look for them because it's something new until they find it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. This is a very good question, and I have about 2 minutes. And please click the link above so that you can get into the newsletter and get information like this, because I really cover this at wide lengths. And I think it's better when you read something, comprehend it, understand it, apply it, implement it, and then evaluate it and process and say, okay, was it a fail or was it a success? And that's depending on how it was, tested to begin with. So like you said, for your business, for your challenge, no one's going to type that because they're not going to know what it is. Like, even if I was to know what movie I watched 2 years ago, I'm not going to search based on the movie or title. I may not even know what the title of the movie is, but I may remember a scene. I may remember a catchphrase. I may remember the actor, the actress. So that in itself, and I go back in time and I use those parameters, those are the filters that will help me to get to those results. So your question, if you want to get more people, the goal is to focus on the semantics, right? There's 3 S's: semantics, sentimentals, and SEO. Semantics is what it is about. So if people want to learn how to have a better planning life or plan their years 10 years ahead, there are things that you would have to create that will have those things in mind. Because if someone's going to ask ChatGPT or Perplexity or Cloud those questions, there's responses they're going to get back. And those responses that they see, if you don't have a website that I can say that has a citation like they do, then there's no way that you can take their position because you don't have the assets that they do. But you can build the assets that they have by doing the same thing they have done prior to you figuring that out or discovering it, where you can now build that relationship and let people know, hey, life lessons or anything that to do with planning, especially when it comes to ages, planning life at 20 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus. When people start seeing that, when you look at a movie and say, oh, this movie is 13 plus, or it's 8 plus, or it's PG-13, you're already preconditioning the setting that you've already stated or created an experience for. So it's not just what you're saying. Those things that you're saying is perfect because that's what the business is and that's what people should know, but they're not going to know that first. Like with podcasting, people may not know my show, but they may know that I talk about Pinterest SEO, AI SEO, I talk about digital marketing SEO, podcast SEO, and they'll find that. Like if you go to ChatGPT and right now and say, top Pinterest SEO podcast, my podcast We Don't Play is going to show up. I put it on my LinkedIn. So I may not say who is this or what's the name of the show because people don't have time to remember names. Sometimes you might not even remember the person's name you just talked to 5 minutes ago. So it's just based on how you connect with someone for the first time, how you leave a good impression, and how you're able to let that person take that effect of making that decision on their own because you have something to give. So definitely it's way more than meets the eye for sure, Jason, but that's a great question that, you covered. I got to jump off to a meeting, but I hope that I was able to answer your question and give you insight on that. Thank you for that. Thumbs up.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Keep up the good work on that.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Deolu, Ayanshu, Joshua, Mohsen. Thank you for the question again. Stevie, Liverpool, thanks for being here. And I hope you all listened, learned something new, and enjoyed it. If you have more information like this or questions, please feel free to ask me or reach out. I'm always available here. And anytime, Deolu is like, don't go. Your gifts are actually hilarious, but I love it. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll be definitely back again tomorrow. So please click the marketing club, this replay. The best way you can actually connect with me here, let me say this now. I think I'll be saying this every time I end the room on Clubhouse. The best way you can connect with me and know that I have a room is when you hit on my face, hit my profile. And then when you now follow me to the right, you're going to see 3 dots. And those 3 dots are going to say notifications. Turn the notifications to all, right? It says notification settings and turn it into always. You're going to see always, sometimes never ever. Turn it to always. So whenever I'm talking, you'll be able to see that I'm there so that it's easier for you because this app, a lot goes on in this app. So I just want you to make sure that even if you don't catch the schedule, at least you can catch me talking. You can actually connect with me. So thank you all for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, a blessed day. Enjoy your week. And I'm going to see you guys in the next episode. If you have reached this point of the episode, I just want to say thank you so much for listening to the We Don't Play podcast show. I hope this has helped you, given you some insight, because every time I come on here or anytime I bring somebody on here, a guest, a speaker, anyone that is of relevance to you, listening is always going to give you educational value, definitely entertainment value, and most importantly, empowerment value. So thank you for listening to the We Don't Play podcast show every day. And if you want to reach out to me, you know where to find me. Click the links in the description or go to info@playinc.online, info@playinc.online, and book a call. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk SEO. Let's talk marketing. Let's talk business. Let's talk scaling. And I look forward to meeting you and learning more about you and your business. Till we meet in the next episode, have a blessed evening. Have a blessed day, night, wherever you are in the world. And I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye for now. And don't forget, Jesus loves you.